Hi guys, good evening. Do well to comment if you can hear me. Okay, thank you very much for commenting. I can see that you are actually hearing me. So right now the form is still open to questions, and in some few minutes I'll start answering the questions. Once more, you guys are welcome. I think this will be our first session, and I hope that we will all get something out of it. So in case you still have questions, you have to visit the platform. There is a link there where you can actually uh, input your questions. So I am going to be using this time to answer some of your questions or all of your questions, hopefully. Um, so I'll be waiting for your questions then. All right, guys. Actually, I think most of you don't know me. You don't know me. Yeah, I am Andy, like you see, and I will be taking you guys with PHP. So the guys who will be doing full stack PHP and front end, and the people who will be doing back end PHP, I will be taking you guys with PHP. And I'm going to use this time to actually start answering your questions. So I am not going to waste much time. I'll just dive into the questions and start answering them. Now, if you get anywhere where you don't understand, you feel free to comment. I will go through the comments and try to answer them. But for now, I'll just try to answer the questions. All right. So the questions that I have here, I will just start with the first one. Will we learn PHP framework like Laravel? Okay. Um, Whoever asked this, I'm sure it's Maxwell. Yes, Maxwell, we are going to learn Laravel, but at the moment, we will start with vanilla PHP. That is raw PHP, starting from the basics, like any other programming language. And we are going to see how we'll find our way and pull our way through right to the level where we can actually start with Laravel framework. So yes, we will be learning Laravel towards the end of this course. And the second question is talking about the mode of lectures. You already have one right now. Mode of lectures is via streaming. Now, there are recorded videos that you will be watching, and we'll be having live classes like this to answer most of your questions. Besides that, you have the LMS, the Learning Management System, where you will be updated with posts and and then Slack, where you are going to be collaborating. These are our modes of lectures, but primarily for our live classes and live hours, we'll be having it over here on YouTube, streaming from Zoom. Um, the next question we have, I want to ask if it's not going to be confusing taking both front end and back end courses. Um, there are some people who have decided to take full stack, front end and back end, and there are some people who have decided just to take back end. Now that is based on your availability. You can actually do it. It's not difficult. It's not going to be confusing, because you who is doing the full stack, you find out that you actually you'll be learning how to blend your front end and your back end together. So there will be no confusion, and yeah, you just have to dedicate more time to it. I think your question should be answered. Feel free to keep on commenting if you don't get anything. I am actually watching the comments. But for now, like I said, I'm going to first answer the questions that are here. Okay, so the next question is, I am a bit lost in regards to preparing our PC for PHP. Okay, who should this be? Uh, I think it's Adiola, somebody like that. Yeah. Okay, you shouldn't be lost. Actually, the post section of the LMS right now should be having what you are supposed to do. You have set up videos. You have to set up PHP on your local environment, your machine, your laptop. Um, PHP goes for all operating systems, and if you are using Windows, you have a setup a setup video that will take you through it. If you have Linux and if you have Mac OS, yes, there are videos that have been set in place to help you set up your environment. Um, what you basically need to do is to go to PHP main website, download the latest version of PHP, extract it to your drive C, and then add it to your local environment, your system environment. From there, you can be able to access PHP from your command line interface. And that is how you have PHP set up. There is a video on that. I think after this class, I'm going to resend most of those videos to you people, but they are available. I think you should visit the LMS to see that. And then another method is to just download and install exam. I don't. Some people pronounce it exam. Some people pronounce it ZAM. So you just need to download and install it. It comes with PHP installed. All right. So if you can get me, please, I would like to hear your comments. I would like to see your comments, hoping that I am not talking to myself actually. So feel free to comment. I'm watching your comments as well. I think we've answered the feed questions, and there are a bunch of other questions I'll be answering, but I want to know if you are hearing me. Okay, thank you very much. I can see that you hear me. So I will just continue. Keep commenting. I can see your questions. So after answering the questions that are here, if I have not answered your question, then I'll go through the chat section and see how to answer them. Okay, so I will go to the next question. How can I contact my organization owner? I think this is somebody for Slack invite. I think so. Um, Yeah, I think the organization made an update on Twitter saying that some Slack invites have not been sent out. But with respect to you contacting, I think you have Twitter there, you have the LMS. Feel free to ask your question on the FAQ section. If you have any problem, you can ask a question there, and the organization will answer you, the people who are in charge. So to contact your organization, just message them on the FAQ section of the LMS. They will respond to you, the administrators. All right, another person is asking if I can use Chocolate to install PHP. Um, At the moment, I will recommend that you actually install PHP the way it is installed in the video that you have, except that you have a particular problem before you start thinking of third-party options. If you are using Linux, you can install PHP normally with apt install PHP. If you are using Windows, I think you can go ahead and download, and Mac OS is the same. So before you go into using third party, make sure you actually have tried the primary ones before you can get into that. Feel free to actually ask this question on the LMS. I might send you a more detailed explanation, whoever this is. Um, the next question is, how do I set up my PHP environment? I think I just answered that. I have answered that. There is a video on that. Another question is, good afternoon. Please, I would like to know how the classes will be holding because I have been unable to add the program to my calendar. All right. About classes, I think we'll be having classes on Sunday. I think Sunday 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Monday 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Wednesday and Thursday. I'll do well to actually send you the link again. I'll send you guys a schedule. For those who have not been able to add the calendar, I think that will be added in the how-to section. Um, I have PHP and XAMPP installed already on my laptop, but I don't know how to make PHP run on the command line. Okay, if you have PHP installed, then you go to the command line and type PHP dash dash version. You are going to actually see the version of PHP. And if you have a script that you want to run with PHP, you use PHP, then space the name of the script. That will actually run the script for you. If you want to run it on XAMPP, it would be nice that you start XAMPP and then put the file inside the htdocs. I think the videos that have been provided actually have that. The next question is, my Slack invite was revoked. Please visit the LMS to actually get an answer to this Slack question. What if for any reason you miss a class? Is there any way you can get the lesson you missed? Yes, recordings will be kept, but do well not to miss classes. Is there a Slack channel I need to join to begin the journey? Yes, there is a Slack channel. If you have not gotten the invite, you'll get it soon. I would like to know if Node.js class is a full stack track. There is Node.js backend and there is Node.js full stack. Please, this is a PHP class. You ask question relating to PHP. What tools are we expected to have in preparation for the course? Yes, the tools you have PHP installed, XAMPP installed, you have MySQL installed, but if you have XAMPP, MySQL will be there. Then your text editor, something like Visual Studio Code will be okay. How can I check my calendar? I think you should check the how to section of the LMS. Which day or days do we have classes? I have answered that. Will we learn basic front end along with PHP? The answer is yes, you will learn that. What can I accomplish with PHP as a full stack developer? There are a lot of things that you can accomplish. Do well to watch the introductory video on PHP to actually get the answer to this. The next question is, or should we already know PHP to begin this course? The answer is no. This course starts from beginner to Hey guys, sorry, I had some technical issues. Sorry about that. Please indicate if you can hear me. All right, so sorry, I actually did have some technical issues, and yeah, I'm trying to reset up. Okay, I think I'll just continue from here. Um, there were 23 questions so far that were asked on the form, so I have managed to go through them. Uh, Let me see if there are others. All right, somebody just added another question, so I'm going to go through that again and see if I can provide answer to it. Um, all right, so some people here, let me just start answering some of your questions. PHP and XAMPP installed on my system before. How do I make PHP run on my command hooks here? So I'm just going to show you how to run a PHP script on command line. That's going to be the same for Windows. So that is why I'm just going to try that. Um, Hopefully you can see my screen. I don't know if you can see it. Please, if you can see the terminal, let me know. Can you see my command prompt? Okay, so I notice you can see. So um, I'm just going to try to create a simple script here with PHP. It's not wide, so I'll just try to increase the screen. Hopefully you can see that. All right, so I have something here. Let me enlarge it. Uh, I'm sure this is clear enough. So I'll just create a different file. I'll call it hello.php. Now, this is a command that I use to create a file. Basically, there are other ways to do that. So uh, let me open it with Visual Studio Code. Hopefully, you should be seeing my VS Code opening. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a small script here that prints something out. So with this, I have PHP, go hello from PHP. Okay, so I have this script here. Now, normally with your Windows or whatever system you're using, you just need to create a normal PHP file. This is for you to test whether PHP runs on your local environment. So now I have this script created and I know where it is located. So what I want to do is I switch back to this terminal and try this command, PHP, then the name of the file. Now, what happens is that if PHP is installed on your system, once you execute this using the PHP, then the name of the file, whatever is inside that file gets executed. So that is how you know that PHP is installed. I'm sorry, the commands that I use right now are for Linux, but with Windows, you basically need to do something similar. Let's say you just need to create a file. Let me do that. So let's imagine that you were using Linux. You go to wherever I want to create the file. Um, Let me see if I have a folder here. If I have this folder, I am going to expand it and try to create a new file. I don't know, how do you do this? So I'm going to go back a bit. Just open this with Visual Studio Code for clarity. Okay, so you have that file, that folder open with Visual Studio Code. I'm going to do the normal way you guys actually program. So you create a new file, hello.php, and this is the file that has been created, and I'm going to execute my same script for PHP. Then I will echo I am learning PHP, and I'm going to close my PHP script. Now it is the same thing. I noticed someone made mention of the fact that touch command is not working on Windows. That is why I decided to do this. Okay, so you have this, and for you to execute this, you need to open your command line. Let me see. On VS Code, you have a tab here called terminal, new terminal. Then there you can just execute the script. To execute a PHP script, you use the PHP command, PHP, then the name of the script. and that is it. You find out that, okay, this is it here, right? So PHP is installed. Now, this is you trying to test whether PHP is installed. You want to know the version of PHP on that same command line. I'm sorry, Linux terminal doesn't portray Windows command line, but they are the same. I mean, you just need to type the same command. So I have something like I want to know the version of PHP. I use PHP dash dash version, and with that, if I press enter, you actually get that the version of PHP that I have here is PHP version 8.1.9, and that is to show you that your PHP version or you have PHP installed. I don't know if this clarifies anything. If you do this and it does not work, then it means that you have not configured your Linux, your environment variables very well, and that is something you need to reconsider. Try to visit the YouTube channel and see how you can actually get that video. There's a setup video that you can use. I don't know if this was clear enough. The person who asked this question, please do well to respond here if you got me. So I am actually making use of Linux, is Linux. But the same thing happens with Windows. Just make sure that you have the environment variable well set up. Like I said, there is a video that does that, and that video was provided amongst the resources for the week. So do well to watch that video. Now, the command line and the terminal, like I said, they don't quite resemble, but they do the same thing. You have the same thing, you have a place to type in your command and so on. And what I just did here, I was not setting up PHP. I was checking if PHP is installed. Okay, so after setting up PHP to check whether PHP is installed, you can go through these steps, and that will guide you through. Now, if any error occurs, then that's when you need to know whether it's installed or something is wrong somewhere. Um, I have PHP and XAMPP installed on my system before, but now how do I make PHP run? Yeah, this is what I was just going through. Please do well to actually comment if it was clear. So I'm going to go through the chat section again while waiting for your comments. I'm going to go through the chat section again to see if there are other questions. So okay, for the person who was talking about any other person using Linux, to install PHP on Linux is not quite difficult. I think with app install PHP, you actually get that up and running. So sudo app install PHP. I think that will install the latest version of PHP. But if you doubt that, you can actually just Google search and you're going to get the command. I'm going to see if I can actually add that on the post section on the platform. So I am still waiting for your comments if you have another problem. All right, somebody was asking, do I need to download XAMPP on Ubuntu OS? Yes, XAMPP is an open source tool, so it is available on all the operating systems. You have Ubuntu, Kali, you have Windows systems, you have Mac OS. So XAMPP actually is available on all of those systems. So you can download and install, and there is a video on that, like I said. So please, if you are getting me, I would really love to see your comments. Oh, somebody said I successfully downloaded the PHP zip file save file, transferred it to the local C drive as instructed, but adding it to the system variable has been stressful. Okay, about this, since I am not using a Linux system, since I'm not using a Windows system right now, if I want to switch, it means we'll go off the call. Now, basically for Windows, uh, I think let me just show you this. Drive. I don't know if you get me well. Okay, so after doing that, there is a next thing you have to do, and this is quite tricky. I did that on the video. Like I said, I am using a Linux system right now. So having to switch to a Windows to show you that will means we actually disrupt the call. So after extracting this folder that you have here, this folder that you have here, you will use it, right? Now it depends on whatever folder you just extracted. So if your folder that you downloaded was something like PHP 8.1.9, for example, right? What you need to do is, okay, now when you extract this folder to the C drive, you are going to copy something like this, right? Let's say C backslash PHP 8.1.8, right? Copy this, then go to the top bottom of your Windows system where you have the search. Just type system environment. Once you start typing that, you get an option, edit system environment variables. Now, when you actually get that option, you just need to click on it. Then, after clicking on it, you have something like edit environment variables. I think so. I'm sorry, like I said, I'm not using Windows right now. So after clicking on that, you have a new place to add, and the instructions are really quite clear on the video that I provided. So if you really don't have, if you are really facing issues with it, um, and you are on Slack, do well to message me on Slack, or yeah, message me on Slack so that we can go through it together. Or maybe and the next live session, I'll try to bring a Windows system where we set this up. So I think that is it. I I really wish I was using Windows right now. I would have explained better, but it's okay. I hope you just follow these steps. It's at this level that I think most of you got lost copying this path to where PHP is and adding it to system variables. You just need to, yeah, just watch the video again, and you're going to have that answer. All right, so I think we have that answered. And let me see, there is another question. Okay, say can we be starting classes, that is the course details, then afterward. So literally what happens is this: we don't have classes right now. We are not having like a class. We are having a question and answer section where you post your questions and we give you a reply to it. You have videos provided already for you. That means every week you have a new set of videos that were already prepared. You watch them and you do the task. In case you had another problem or problem somewhere, you fill the form with questions, and we have this kind of section and we take you through it. That is basically it. So we are not kind of having a live class. Um, this cohort is self-paced. That means you learn at your pace. That means that some people might be learning in the morning, others in the evening. So we already have the materials prepared for you. You just need to make sure you actually follow the LMS and see the updates and see which material is to be taken and so on. Okay, so let me check the question section again if people have added some questions. No, people have not added. So I'll be waiting for your replies still. Or if you still have another question, if you don't have, then there is something. Oh, somebody is asking where can I contact the LMS? No, you are not contacting the LMS, right? The LMS is the learning management system that I think if a link was sent to your email on how to register in the LMS. So it's basically the Zuri board platform that you are using, where you have all your tasks and so on. And if you have questions, you can feel free to ask those questions. There is a section there called FAQs or help. So you just need to click on it and you see a place to ask a question and you get reply. Okay. Okay, so Sugar is talking about not receiving the Slack invite yet. Um, how am I going to do this right now? All right, so we'll try to facilitate the Slack invites so that you guys all get it, because I feel like we need to communicate more with pictures and yeah, images in case somebody had an error. Yeah, we'll need to do that. Don't worry, you'll get a Slack invite. And somebody is asking what's going on. Yeah, just joining. What's going on is that we are having question and answer session. So if you have a question, do well to paste it or to ask your question. So guys, we will be having this, and I am still waiting for your questions. There is something I want to do with you guys. So feel free to ask your questions. After that, then we'll go through something together. So I'll be waiting for your questions. Okay, so somebody is asking, is there a sandbox where I can do the task from? No, Zuri has not provided sandbox. You do the tasks from your local machines, and with time, you will have to work with GitHub. Yeah, that is one of the requirements, like we said. That's one of the requirements. You need to learn GitHub. The first 2 weeks, you'll have some things like MCQs and so on. And then they will actually, from the second week, I think so, second or third week, you start having projects that you actually have to submit on GitHub. So you will have to learn GitHub too. And there are resources provided already for GitHub. So you just actually need to follow them. So is there a possible way we can like launch PHP on the browser, like the way you launch HTML file? Okay, yes, it is possible. And this will be done with the use of XAMPP, like I said. David, I think you should hear me. Now, if you have XAMPP installed, you can do it. And because of what you just said, I think I'll just take you guys through that. Like I said, I am using a Linux system, but the steps are the same for Windows. So I have XAMPP installed. So I'm just going to close these things. Let me see. So I'm going to navigate here. Okay, so I'm going to run XAMPP. I want to get the interface that you guys normally have so that you won't get confused. So I have sudo this manager exam 64 G123. Okay, so with this, I think you should have something like this. I just wanted to bring out this interface so that you are able to know how it's working. So I have this managed servers, and you can actually start MySQL and Apache. You are going to see that in on Windows. So you are going to start the two. So let me just start this MySQL start, Apache start. And when this starts, I'll be able to access everything normally. Okay. So I think I'll just minimize this for now. And I will try to okay, so it's already started. So you see already running here. That's the first step. Start XAMPP, right? The second step is that your project needs to be somewhere, and that is where I'm going to. So where you have XAMPP, let me pick this and bring it here. So you have to navigate to the XAMPP folder. Uh, Now, like I'm using Linux, this folder structure will not be the same, but I want you to navigate to the XAMPP folder, right? And inside the XAMPP folder, you're going to see another folder called htdocs. This one, htdocs. And what you're going to do is click on it, and you can create your project in here. So I'm going to create a new folder. Sorry, let me see. So I'm going to create a new folder. Sorry, this is actually giving me issues because of what I have. I have some permissions, but just create a new folder inside the htdocs folder, and from there you are good to go. So I'm going to open this folder that I already created with VS Code normally. So I'm going to close the other one. Okay. I'll create another folder called PHP Learning, and inside that folder, I'm going to create a few minutes. Let me see whatever is going on. All right, so I have the folder created, and I'm going to create another file called index.php. Good. So with this, I can actually go ahead and write whatever I want to write that will execute on the browser. David, I think I'm trying to answer. Is it David? Jonathan. Yes, I think it's Jonathan. I'm trying to answer your question. So this could be normal HTML, HTML5, uh, PHP, and then let me see H1. Welcome to this page. This is normal HTML, so it won't. There's no big deal in this. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create a PHP script in here, and if you notice, it is the same, right? So notice my file is called index.php. You could call it whatever name, but it's a PHP file. That is why I'm able to write a PHP script inside here. So I will have something like name is equal to Andrew, for example, and this is my PHP script that I'm going to write right now. So okay, so I have this, right? I have this. This is just normal PHP, and you don't need to understand. I just want to show you how to run this on the browser. So with this, you have PHP, and you have name this. And what I want to do is that I want to actually print out my name is Andrew on the front end page. Okay, so I have this up and running. So what I need to do is that I will open my browser. First thing, make sure that XAMPP is running, right? So I'll open my browser, like you see here, and here I go. See localhost / the name of this folder, right? Please take note of this. So I have localhost, then I have this folder called learning. So I'll go to localhost / learning, right? And with that, sorry, this is something else. Inside that learning, there is something called PHP learning / PHP learning. And you actually see something here. I want you to take note of it. You see that I am now able to actually execute my PHP script. So you have welcome to this page, which is what you have here. Welcome to this page. And then you have another one. This is now my PHP script. Say my name is, so let me just show you something. My name is, let me make it an H1 tag. So my name is this, and you see something similar, but bold. So you see, my name is Andrew. I think that is how you will be able to execute PHP script on your browser. And like I said, you need XAMPP or any other local server to do this. XAMPP is the preferred one. I think you should take note of that. So I think who was that? Jonathan, I think your question has been answered. So you can do well to comment if you actually got me. So that is how you execute PHP on your browser. And now let me show you something again. We are not coding here. I'm just trying to answer questions. I'm going to try to show you something again. So I want to execute this script. So let me be inside the folder. and then I'm going to write PHP index.php. Now you notice something here, that this is normal HTML on the terminal, but this is not what you want. So there is difference between executing PHP on the terminal and executing PHP on the browser. The terminal will not understand your normal doc type and so on. But notice that what has happened here, Android is printed out here because it understands PHP. So to execute PHP on the terminal, you just need to type PHP, then the name of the file, then um, to execute it on the browser, you need to type the URL, making sure that XAMPP is running and your project is inside htdocs of the XAMPP folder. I hope that is clear. So guys, I hope that is clear. You do well to comment, please. I want to make sure that you guys are getting it quite well. Okay, David, you're welcome. Okay. Sorry that your hard drive crashed. That's bad news. But anyway, just do well to see how you can get another hard drive. Sorry about that. Okay, so another person is talking about I saw something. Mm. Okay, another person is talking about Slack. Please, the organization will update you guys about Slack workspace and so on. But please, just like it was mentioned in the workspace in the Twitter, yeah, that Slack is secondary because most interaction now is occurring on the learning management system. So you have to make sure that you're on the learning management system first, then Slack second. If you have errors with Slack, just be patient. I think all of those stuffs will be resolved because invites are going to be sent again. Uh, and we type PHP syntax on HTML file. No, if you have a file with .html, you cannot write PHP inside. All right. But if you have HTML syntax inside a PHP file, just like what you have here, right, it will run quite well. That is why you have HTML things here and then you have PHP here. They can go together. But for example, if I had something like this index.html, there is no way that I can put in PHP inside. I'm sure that should be clear now, Madi. Yes, Ismail, you are going to create the folder inside htdocs, right? So if you have a project, a web project that you want to run on the web, not on terminal, then if you want to run it offline, you need the XAMPP, and your project is supposed to be inside htdocs folder of XAMPP. Okay. This was to yeah. What was that? Muhammad. So can a new PHP version be issued? Yes, there is possibility of update. Windows, I don't know. It looks like you need to. Uh, will you need to extract on the already existing version? But it is possible to actually update. Yeah, it is possible, Ismail. So, guys, I am waiting for your questions. Keep them coming, and feel free to comment if you have something you did not understand. Okay. Yes, it is possible to link PHP externally. We don't want to go extra right now. This is just the introductory week. In the coming sessions, I think this is Terra. In the comment sections, you actually have that that implemented. It's possible, right? So you have a PHP script and you have an HTML file. You can link from the HTML file to the PHP. I don't want to do that right now. It is possible. Don't worry. Maybe Wednesday we'll have it, and that should be top priority. We are going to do that. Okay. All right, guys. Keep the questions coming. We have about 40 more minutes to go. Mhm. So let me see if there are other questions on the form. Okay, no other questions. And here too, no other question. Let me see. Please do well to resend your question if you think that I've not answered. Let me see. Uh, can you hear this? Can I make PHP run on command line? Yeah, you have that. All right, Madi, what is the mission of PHP frameworks? All right, right now at the beginning, so you have normal PHP coding, and actually you reach a level where you see that you keep on repeating stuff. You PHP frameworks are just how should I put this? So they provide I don't know whether you understand the term boilerplate. It will provide boilerplate for your whole system that you are building, and they will help you to collaborate easier. They will help you to code easier. But truth is, you will not get to the level of using PHP frameworks well without actually understanding how PHP is. All right. So after learning normal vanilla PHP, that's how it is called, vanilla, and then object-oriented PHP, you go to the level of using PHP frameworks like Laravel, like Code Igniter, like Symfony. All of those are frameworks, PHP frameworks. And you will just notice that they are I they kind of simplify the work for you. But when I say simplify, don't think that it actually simplifies. But when you have reached that level, I think we'll get into that better. Uh, I will not be introducing you guys to PHP frameworks right now. So what you guys have to learn now is the PHP. Okay. Maddie, I'm sure you got me. Do you have any extension to recommend to us? Jonathan, which kind of extension, please? So for the people who are using how they call this, who are using VS Code, Visual Studio Code, there are a bunch of extension you can install to make code highlighting and error tracing simpler. On your VS Code, let me just show you something. So on your VS Code, you have this tab called extensions, I think. Mm, where is it? Let me see something. So you have extensions, and on these extensions, there is this extension for PHP that is called PHP interface. Okay, so with this extension, you have yeah, it just extension pack. Just type PHP. Let me see, extension pack. I think yes. So you have this extension here, PHP extension pack. It's 3 megabyte or how many? It's just when you install this, there are a lot of other things that benefit. For example, you get one will be tracing errors. It is easier for you to trace errors because it will be highlighted. There are really many things that you get from the extension pack. All right. So the PHP extension pack is going to do a lot of things for you. Not that it will help you in this. It will not code for you though. It's just going to make coding easier because you'll be able to trace things better. Okay, so that's the extension you can use, PHP extension pack. It it comes with a bunch of extensions rather than having to go and install PHP code highlighting extension, then install PHP autocomplete. But please, at the beginning, I would not recommend that you start getting into auto completions and so on because you need to get the basics first. Okay, if not they are really if not that you need to learn, then there are really many other things out there that you can use to make coding easier. All right, so for now just try to first understand the PHP, object oriented PHP, then you can start using those things. Yeah, David, he's talking about VS Code extension. I think I've made mention of that. Okay guys, I think I have answered your question. Jonathan, if you are not clear, just let me know, please. All right, Jonathan, that's good. Okay, so we have about 30 more minutes to go. I want that towards the last 20 minutes, there's something we need to do, and I want to make sure that you are cleared of your questions for today. If you still have questions, please do well to actually send your questions. Okay, so seems some people are out of questions. Um, so I'm going to use the next minute to actually show you what we are going to be doing till the end of the program, what you're expected to have learned. So I'm going to pull back to this. Hopefully you can see my screen and it's clear. So basically, can you guys see? I'm sure you see this. So basically, this is how our program is going to look like. And so this is the week where we are doing program orientation and introductions, history of PHP. Then we're going to do syntax, comments, variables. All of these things are going to be done within week one. So you're expected to actually do this within this week. Okay. So um, I am not going to show you the full details because curriculums normally they don't give out curriculums like that. So I'm just going to show you what you're expected to be doing. So introduction, history, and installation, all of that, you're going to do it within this week. Then all of this is normal vanilla PHP. You do syntax, you do data types, constants, operation, just like any other programming language. Okay. Mm, and then you get to the level where you do PHP arrays and associative arrays. Okay, so with this, you go to PHP web forms because PHP is more for web application development. So you have this, you do PHP and web forms, you study files in PHP, how to manipulate files. Then you go to loops, you go to functions, you go to PHP objects. Then you will be talking about sessions in PHP. Um, TCA, this is not for cohort 1, this is cohort 2. Okay. All right, then we'll study databases. We'll study SQL. And yeah, that is why you actually need XAMPP right now. You study now the relationship between PHP and MySQL. Then you dive into object-oriented programming, still with PHP. Then you see the MVC nature of PHP, the model, the view, the controller. All of this, you are going to do it. Then you talk about access control because uh, web applications are supposed to be secured, and there are some things on these applications that are not supposed to be visible to some certain part of people. All of this is under access control. Um, okay, the next is we'll see how to send emails with PHP. Then we'll be introducing working with PHP frameworks. And again, just to let you know that in this cohort, we are going to be doing Laravel. So while learning PHP, just know that that is a framework we are going to be doing. So there are really other PHP frameworks. There are really many, right? You have CodeIgniter, you have Laravel, you have Symfony, you have there are really so many. Yes, there are so many. So, but we'll be doing Laravel. So you will learn how to install Laravel. You will know the project structure for a Laravel application. You see um, how the Laravel architecture looks like. Okay, so the MVC architecture of Laravel. Then we'll start talking about APIs. Yeah, so talk about application programming interfaces, that is API. And then you'll be rounding up with some security, learning how to secure APIs. And then for the front end people, at least you are going to do a lot of other things. And then back end people too, you are going to learn some basics of what they call bleed templating in Laravel. Okay, so you are not only going to stick to the backend, you're going to do some introductions to some front end for like a Blade, because Blade is a front end templating engine for Laravel applications. So that is how your program is going to look like. And all the videos that have been provided, there will be times where we need to come in and actually do some other things like within the program. Okay. Let me see this question. All right, David, that is good. That's good. Is this live session saved so we can come back and watch that, watch what we miss? Yes, it is saved. It is saved. So hopefully the organization will provide the links. But please do well not to miss such classes because it is better to be there and clarify your doubts than having to watch it later. Because if you don't understand anything after the live session has passed, then asking a question, you might get a delay in the response. But it's okay. That is our program. That is how our program is going to look like. Okay, guys. So that is what I wanted to show you guys. And if you still do have some questions, feel free to ask. What do I expect to achieve at the end of this course? Oh, um, dance of, all right. So, as a backend developer that you are getting into, by the end of this course, you are expected to have an entry level knowledge in the backend development industry, software development industry. That means you should be able to work on projects with regards to PHP and Laravel. That's why I said entry level. Okay, that means you are supposed to um, have the knowledge of being able to even collaborate with people already, being able to collaborate with projects that already exist. uh, you should be able to build projects that are usable to maybe solve some problems within the community and so on. So by the end of this course, you are not just supposed to be graduating like somebody who has learned basics of programming. You are supposed to be graduating like somebody who actually can work. Okay, so the program is not teaching you how to, how do I put this? The program is teaching you how to apply the knowledge you have in projects. That is why it is project oriented. The first 2 weeks you might see it to be boring because it's more of MCQs and so on. But from the third week, you actually have projects that you see how it is solving a problem. So by the end of this course, you're actually going to come out with a lot. All right. You're supposed to be a developer by the end, and there are people who after this program they have ended up having entry level roles in software development industry. Okay, so another thing is that I will take it as an initiative to actually make sure that you guys don't only learn programming, you learn how to apply and how to apply it in software industries. So there is a lot to get uh, at the end of this program. Okay, that's all. I'm sure I answered your question. Okay, another question is, are we learning basics through or everything? You are starting from the basics to the level where you can actually work on projects. I'm sure you get it well now. All right, guys, keep your questions coming. We're almost drawing towards the end. It has been a great session. Let me see. I hope I did not miss somebody's question. If you have a question, please do well to keep on sending them. Say I made a mistake on my email and I was required to request another. Okay, I am getting a lot of complaints about people who are not on Slack. Like I said, you guys be patient. You have the invite to Slack. So guys, if you still have questions, please do well to ask them. I think I've exhausted what I had in mind for today. Except you have other questions that you think I have not answered. Okay, all right. That's of can PHP be used to develop front end or it's a back end only strictly? Okay, basically PHP is a back end language. Okay, so but when you get frameworks like Laravel, you see now how PHP has been integrated with some front end. But basically, you know that even your front end, you can code some PHP inside. Um, with Laravel, like I said, you hear of what they call blade templating. So it's actually a PHP file that has some front end embedded into it. So PHP is actually a backend scripting language, but you can actually use it to do some things on the front end, but it's backend. In fact, PHP is a backend scripting language. All right. Let me not try to make it look like full stack. Okay, but with PHP and Laravel, you can actually be a full stack developer because with Laravel Blade, you have some integrations with HTML and CSS and so on. So it's actually good. Yeah, Magilo, thank you for your answer actually. Okay, I still need more help with PHP system variables on Windows. Please, I need more comprehensive explanation. Um, Sugar, I don't know. Let me see. Or okay, so the next class, I'll see how to actually bring that up. But let me see if I can get the video. Uh, so another thing you might want to let us know is where you had an error. Where exactly did you have an error? Sugar, I think this question is for you. Where do you have an error? Okay, Sugar, like I said, I'm using a Linux system right now. So if there is a way you can message me, are you already on Slack? If you're on Slack, do well to message me. If not, let's see how we're going to do that. Yeah, I think I will try to set up a post section that tries to explain that better, even provide a tutorial that is text-based so that you can follow. I don't know if that will be okay by you. All right, guys, so we'll be getting towards the end of our class, and hopefully I have answered most of your questions, uh, except for the setup, because I am not having a Windows system right now. But like I said, there is a video. This video should be quite clear enough. Let me see if I can get that. PHP. So I am going to send this link right now. You can actually click on this link to view that setup. Sugar, please take time to go through this that I just sent. You actually get an answer to your problem, wherever it is. I think this video is going to clarify things. Okay, guys, if you are still there, just let me know. Uh, I think we should see how we'll be ending the class. We are normally supposed to end at 9 o'clock. Oh, sorry, 9 o'clock, 8:50. So at least we are up to about 8:30. That means we've done something. All right. So just do well to comment here. Let me know if you guys are there. Okay, Sugar, I think you will email me so I can communicate with you and set this thing up. So write to this email. So just write to that email. I'll reply you and see how I'll follow you up with the setup. I think that's the best way to do now since you are not yet on Slack, even though I was not supposed to do that. But it's okay. Just write me there. Guys, I think we are ending. Uh, just say a bye so that we make sure that you guys are following. All right. Okay, guys. I'll be ending the call now. Thank you guys very much. Feel free to keep your questions next time. I will be updating you guys on the status of our classes. And yeah, thank you guys very much. Bye.